I would like to thank you all on behalf of the refugees for coming today to protest at their treatment and saying refugees are welcome here. 50 years ago, the United Nations passed the resolution against racism, the International Day of the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. Unfortunately, today we still need to fight for equality and against the racist policy of detention and deportation of many European countries. Our shared humanity is the main base of equal citizen between people. Our action today is a part of the fight against war, hunger, and suppression. The anti-racist movement is a part of working class message to build a better human society. The capitalism system has divided human beings on the basis of race, nationality, religion, language, skin color, west, east, north, and south. It has put the working class around the world in a war of inequality, confronting each other. The tragedy of refugee deaths in a group on the border of Europe, in the Mediterranean and the Aegean Sea is a direct consequence of the policy of closing border to people who are livelihood and a place of residence have turned to battlefield of civil war. Yesterday's EU meeting tried to deal with Turkish inhuman regime to send back the refugee by force to Turkey. Shame on them. Turkey is not a safe country even for its own citizens, political activists, civil activists, and journalists. So how can the fate of these refugees be handed over to Turkey? Let's make today's rallies the beginning of unified struggle to stand fast around the world with working class and freedom-loving people to fight against racism and fascism for freedom, equality, citizenship between us all. Not to racism, long live our humanity.
Let's talk about Iraqi refugees now. Of course, the hot topic is about Syrian refugees, but people are still running from Iraq. What's their condition now?
Well, the situation, as you know, after the invasions, they divide the people in Iraq by the nation and the religious. They wasn't successful to set up a government. That is a government who built in Iraq based in the nation and the religious. We saw the sectarian violence, the bombing every day, and how the people in Iraq is suffering. How the people's is displacement everywhere in Iraq and in Kurdistan. There is no freedom for speech, freedom for expressions. There is this government is based in religions, and because of the sectarian violence, because of the violence in Iraq and in Kurdistan, many people are daily flee from Iraq and in Kurdistan. You could see in the last 2 years, the ISIS is controlling half of the society in Iraq, and people are suffering, the woman is suffering. And this is all outcome of the Western government and the Americans' policy, especially after their failures policy in Syria and in Iraq. They brought the ISIS. They made the ISIS in Iraq and in Syria after the failure in their policy. And you could see because of the civil war, the sectarian violence, people daily flee. They don't have any other choice to flee, and daily people dying they make risk with their life and through the dangerous way to European country, and must the European country accept what they done in Iraq and in Syria. They are their responsibility. They must open their borders. They must give a refugee status. They must stop in all the deals with, especially this it's a big shame for European country who dealing with the Turkish government to send back people by force to Turkey.
What's the role of Turkey in the conflicts of this region? Because many people say that Turkey is supporting ISIS.
Exactly, yeah. The Turkish government, after the failure of Americans' policy in Syria, is starting to support ISIS and helping them by different way. And now is a shame after the Erdogan more close to the dictatorship regime government, and the European country, they try to dealing with them to send back pupils, victims or women and children from Iraq and Syria to send back by force to Turkey. That should be stopping that agreement. That should be not accepting any deal with the Turkish government, especially that government. They don't respect even the human right in Turkey for journalism, for civil society activists. So how may the European country make a deal with such as government, and especially that government? They are daily still supporting ISIS. They're looking for the hegemony in the Middle East. And they want to have a power in Syria. They want to have a power in Iraq also.